Hello and welcome to C3D for me, and in this lesson we're going to go over adding a Geomap image into your Civil 3D drawing. Alright, so the first step, we need to edit our drawing settings. So we need to go to our tool space. Under the settings tab, we have our active drawing right here. We're going to go ahead and right click that and hit edit drawing settings. In the command line you can alternatively just enter edit drawing settings. Now, the coordinate system you're on is going to be entirely dependent on your project and the data you're working on. In this case, I have some county GIS information that I'm just using as reference, and I know that it's on the Washington State Plane coordinate system south, so I'm just going to go ahead and enter that from this dropdown. Scroll down to USA, Washington, and then once you're in Washington, it provides all of the available coordinate systems for Washington. So we're on NAT 83, State Plane, South, US foot. And this is the shorthand coordinate system code. If you already know that, you can just go ahead and punch that in and it'll fill this out for you. Or you can use the dropdown. So once we have our coordinate system, we hit apply and then OK. Now that we've hit OK, we get a nice new highlighted tab in the ribbon called geolocation. So we're going to want to click that, and we get a whole new set of options to play with. So what we're looking at right now is the online map, the Geomap. So currently it's off, and once you expand this, you get three options: the aerial, road, hybrid. Pretty self-explanatory, but let's go ahead and take a look. So for the aerial, you can see a nice Google Maps type aerial image. It dynamically follows your view as you pan and scroll and zoom and do whatever you want. You could go way out here and it fills it all the way in. And we also have the road map. It's the same kind of thing, just more basic, no aerial imagery, just the road, so you could kind of see where you are. And then the hybrid is just a mashup of the two. Now, let's say you don't want to have this following you the whole time. You just want to clip a little area and just have that into the background and not have to have this, slowing your drawing down a little bit. So what we're going to want to do is go up here to this capture area button, hit capture area, asks you to pick the first corner. So let's say we want to see this park here. So we're going to go ahead and select, draw a rectangle around the park. You could barely see the outline of the capture area. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the streaming map, and that leaves us with this Geomap image. You can see in the properties, it's called a Geomap image. And there's a few things you can do once you have this capture. So we can kind of adjust the quality a little bit. So right now this is the quality, it's set to optimal. It goes from best, very fine, to worst, coarse. It'll very slightly adjust, the performance of your drawing depending on what you have it set to. So the best is very fine. We'll go ahead and zoom in and just take a quick look at what that looks like. A little blurry, but not too bad. And then as you do the steps back, it just slowly gets a little bit worse. And you could select the quality for whatever your purposes are. And we also have the option of changing the fade. That's the other settings I find pretty useful. So I'm going to go ahead and set it to very fine. So let's say we don't want to, it's kind of hard to see our background line work. Let's just fade it back. It's the same thing as transparency. So, set it to whatever works for you and what you're doing. There's the brightness and contrast if there's something wrong with the imagery and you just want to tweak it a little bit. But I find that the basic settings are going to almost always be exactly what you need. And then if you decide you don't want to see, let's say the aerial, and you just want the map, you can dynamically change just the capture. So you can have it capture just the road or just the aerial. And those are the basics. It's a very basic but extremely useful tool to have in your arsenal, especially if you're drafting a topo, so you can get a better idea of, what you're actually looking at if you don't have good ground photography. And those are the basics of the geolocation and geomap image function in Civil 3D. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching.